Okay, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Unity Center of West Lynn. My name is Jan Carruthers. I'm your service assistant for today, and it is my pleasure to welcome you. We bless each one of you, and as always here in Unity, we believe that each one of us dwells in spirit, and each is here by divine appointment. The Unity Center is a ministry where people of all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs celebrate the one common spiritual thread that lives in every heart. And if you're new to Unity of West Lynn, or if you're joining us for the first time here online, we invite you to visit our website, www.worldhealing.org. There's loads of information. Today, our speaker is our Senior Interim Minister, Reverend Julie Applegate, and she'll be here with us soon enough. And I would like to open this service with a prayer. So if you would close your eyes, know for yourself, know for each one of us, that there is only one life. There is only one divine heart, mind, spirit, soul. In that one, we live and move and have our being. And we know certain spiritual truths that remind us of that daily, our gratitude, our wisdom, our joy, our sense of possibility and freedom and willingness to participate in this glorious, gracious one life. I speak my word today for people meeting all around the world, with online, with pixels, in ways we never anticipated, that we come together again to celebrate that one common spiritual thread, that one life we share, that there is no time and there's no death, that life is eternal. And each of us is here to play a role, to create and to give and to share love. Most of all, we share love. And so it is today. We welcome each one of you. And so it is. At this point, we have a reading. And today that reading is reflective of the fact that it's also the first day of November. We've celebrated Halloween. And if you ever had a touch with being a Catholic, as I did, you know today is All Saints' Day. And Angeles Arian wrote a wonderful book called Living in Gratitude. And she wrote spiritual messages for each month of the year. And in November, she says, one definition of a miracle is a change in perspective. Therefore, our focus on grateful seeing in November can make it a month of miracles. A month of miracles. Looking for the bounty and good in our lives creates a disposition for gratitude and allows us to see that some of the challenges we face may be blessings in disguise. Look for the areas of your life where your efforts have borne fruit. Be grateful for the works you have created within and without. Acknowledge the gifts you have received and the thoughts, prayers, and kindnesses you have extended to others. Shift your perspective from looking first to what is not working in your life to looking first at what is. Dedicate this month to giving thanks, and this will strengthen your capacity for grateful seeing. Today I'm excited because Reverend Julie is giving us the third part of her Shortcut to Miracles series. And we have it in a moment, but before we do, I want to introduce that talk with a song that is basically a prayer of its own. And so if you sit back, we have this wonderful, wonderful opening the inner space.
This inner space has the power to set me free. It's the cavern of creation and the truth of you and me. This inner space, an eternity of time. It's the moment of the holy now and the allness that is mine. This inner space means all that I need. From deep within the invisible flows the living air I breathe. This inner space is flowing in my bones. It stirs my heart, it stirs my mind, and every prayer I've ever known. And I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace. This inner space is the ocean of your soul. And when you feel most broken, the truth is you are whole. This inner space connects us one to all. And though it would never push you, it will break down every wall. So I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace. This inner space invites us to renew. In all my endless choosing, I become the chosen two. This inner space never knows the past. In a quiet place, you can hear it, and it might just make you laugh. So I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace of this inner space.
And now,
Yeah, good morning or afternoon or maybe evening whenever you are listening to this Sunday celebration service. But for those of us who are gathered together on our Zoom meeting this morning, I am so glad to be here with you. And welcome to my home too. And West Lynn Unity, an absolutely wonderful spiritual community that has served this area and the world for decades. I am thrilled to be associated. And thank you, Jan, for that music. Wow, that was so wonderful. It was like a meditative experience for me before this talk. So we are in part 3, and honestly, this may go on for many more parts because I am intrigued with this material in this book. But I've been using Shortcut to a Miracle as a jumping off point. Let's see if you can see it. Michael Rain and Elizabeth Arndt. I guess I didn't hold that up very long, very good. And you know what? I don't know how it looks to you. It looks backwards to me. So I don't know how that came across. Anyway, so today we're talking about enter you, the thinker, enter you and I, the thinker. And what we're focusing on is that we are co-creators in our own life. And we're also co-creators powered by an infinite thinker. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? This infinite, intelligent presence that really birthed the whole universe resides also within us. And that song was just so perfect for that. And our life, guys, is our great creation. You know, we talk about all the things we're here to do and our purpose and all that, but the first and biggest purpose, I think, for all of us is our own life. It's our great creation and what we make of it. But the material we're covering, and I thought when I did this, I thought, oh my gosh, we all know this. We all know this. These are key principles in our New Thought Unity teaching that I think everyone who is involved in this teaching knows. And maybe some of you who are listening to this are new to it, so I apologize for making that assumption. But then I remembered that I know this material. I know the principles. I have taken tests on these principles to become a minister. But it always thrills me to revisit our core principles. And then I'm renewed and inspired because even though I know them, do I always act from them? Do I always live from them? Sadly, no. So it really helps me. And I am grateful for these opportunities to speak and to reacquaint myself weekly with what we do. So what we have explored in this series is how we're co-creators of our own life. And we participate at the level of our consciousness. And what consciousness is, perhaps for those of you who may not be super familiar with this teaching, is the totality of our awareness, of our beliefs, our unconscious beliefs, our conscious beliefs, all that is us in our mind and our thinking. And that's our consciousness, our experiences, everything about us. And in some strange way, scientists have observed that we do not understand that our consciousness affects the quantum process of life, of creation. And so I'm going to look today at the law of co-creation. And there are 3 parts to this: the law of belief, the law of expectancy, and the law of attraction. So we talk about the law of belief all the time, and that can be complex. It's really pretty simple in principle. What we believe is what becomes our reality. But the complexity comes with the fact that some of our deep-seated beliefs we aren't even familiar with. And so we may have conscious beliefs. We may believe in something, but then we wonder why that belief doesn't outpicture in our life like it says it's supposed to. And it's because we have a lot of unconscious beliefs, and mostly about our own worthiness. I think at the bottom of all our other beliefs that affect what goes on in our life is our own sense of worthiness or unworthiness. So these are not new concepts. They're simple concepts, but complex in how they play out in our life. And there is what we want to believe and then what we expect. You know, when we learn this, come into this teaching, and oh my God, the first time I learned about beliefs, I think I was in my 30s and heading to my first New Thought class, absolutely stunned at the idea that I have beliefs that could affect my life, because I thought the way I looked at the world was the way it was. And what do you mean? there's more to it than that. It was this great awakening for me. So and then I learned that what I believe is what becomes my reality. So, wow, then I'm going to believe this and I'm going to believe that. But then, what happened was what I expected and what I really believed deep down, not this surface stuff that I'm trying to put on top of what I had to do deep work on this, because this is deep work, guys. And I have this person in my life, and I remember them telling me one time, I've never doubted that I was beautiful, smart, and loved. How awesome to know that about themselves. Never doubted that in their whole life. And I have to tell you that this person has, I've watched them all of their life. And they tend to succeed, not tend to succeed, they do succeed in whatever they really set their mind to do. It's the achievements and the outpicturing of their experience and their relationships. It's just wonderful. It's so wonderful. I always believed I was beautiful, smart, and loved. How many of us can say that? I wish all of us could say that all the time, because I have worked over the years with so many people that don't feel that way, that believe that they're, honestly, I've worked with so many people that believe they're worthless or they have no worth at all. Maybe that's the opposite extreme. Maybe most of us fall somewhere in the middle. And I have watched over time as these individuals just stuck with the teaching, stuck with the classes, stuck with the counseling, because somewhere deep within them, they knew the truth. Because see, all of us somewhere deep within us know the truth about life, know the truth of beingness. It's just somehow covered over with so many other things that we have learned during our life. And I have watched individuals as they work through this, like scrubbing clean a diamond. I guess that's how I look at it, that inside all of us is this beautiful diamond, but we often just get it smudged all over till we don't even know that inside of us is this beautiful diamond. And one of the thrills of being a minister is to watch that smudge on a diamond being cleaned off, so that that person begins to understand what a magnificent creation they are. And I have to tell you, along with that comes a transformation in the life experience. So I don't know where we get all of our beliefs. We get them from family, we get them from school. Our personality influences us. We compare ourselves to others. We don't measure up to the TV commercial. Maybe we are born with some of these. Maybe we do believe in reincarnation. I don't know. But it's our work. And we don't have to uncover all of our beliefs that are hidden within us. What we have to do perhaps is recognize that they exist and then come to a deeper realization, like that song. It's within us. It's within each one of us. And when we tap into that, it's like it heals whatever else there is to be healed, that inner presence. When we come in relationship, when we come in to a knowing, and we allow it to be our life, let God's life be our life now. There's something that heals whatever it is that needed to be healed. And we can express that beautiful divine beingness that we are. And I've taught something called the Enneagram and for many, many years. And a lot of you know what that is. And some of you who are listening to this don't. You can go online and look it up, I guess, if you don't know. But it's a study of the 9 personality types under which people fall. Each one of us embodies one of those in personality types. And the interesting thing is each personality type has a core belief built in that really motivates our reaction to life. And according to the Enneagram understandings, these core beliefs shape our focus of attention, how we direct our energy. And depending on whether we're healthy or unhealthy, that's going to be a blessing in our life, a blessing in the world, or something very, very difficult for us, where we focus our attention. And sometimes to only get to understanding where we focus our attention or what we believe is to look at our reality. And that can be like a real puzzle. So we might question, what if I am ill? And I really want to say this to you guys because I think this is important. I had an experience. I teach some classes as well as the Sunday event that we get together. And what comes up, and it comes up in almost every class. You know, last week we mentioned Myrtle Fillmore and her realization that she was a child of God and did not inherit illness. And in that awareness that she kept repeating that and keep repeating that and believed that the minute she heard it, she believed that. And ultimately her tuberculosis was healed, which was pretty phenomenal for that era. It just didn't happen very often. And then what happens for those of us in this teaching sometimes, we'll have an illness or we'll have something going on in our life. And I just have experienced this recently where the individual was so distraught and so judgmental of themselves, like, what is wrong with me? I understand my beliefs affect my life. I understand that there's a divine wholeness in it. And why can't I do this? What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Oh my God, do you know how often people, we don't believe in guilt and shame, right? New Thought, we don't believe in guilt and shame. Yet there's this thing called New Thought guilt. And it can be like, well, why, if I understand this, why am I ill? So, you know, I don't know. None of us know what the process in our individual lives is, what we have to go through. Sometimes it feels like a mystery, but stop trying to change your consciousness. Now, I just said our consciousness is cause, so it would seem like we need to change our consciousness, right? And that's true. But when we deliberately try to change our consciousness, what we're saying is that there is something wrong with our consciousness. We're telling the universe there's something wrong with me and I begin to change. I need to change. Do you see what I mean? So here's the way. Here's the way. I love that. Follow me. Here's the way. But yes, we do need to change our consciousness if our life is not working. But we don't do that by saying over and over again, I need to change my consciousness. What is wrong with me? How can I change my consciousness? And all the processes that we might come up with to do that. It's pretty simple. It's simple, but maybe not easy. We begin to love ourselves. If you and I fall into that place where I need to change my consciousness, there's definitely something wrong with me, let that go, because we're just affirming that over and over again. And step out of that and begin to see only love. That may not be easy. It may take a while, but to let that balm of healing love penetrate our body and begin to forgive ourselves, So let go of the focus of the need to change. Let go of all that. Only focus on what loving beings we are. Find a way that you conceptualize the infinite. We all have different ways of conceptualizing what we call God or the infinite or spirit or the ground of being. Find a way to conceptualize that and focus on that and let it fill you up. That song just felt like such a way to do that. So then there's this move into this law of expectancy. As we begin to love ourselves, the expectancy that we have will change. you've heard lots of times someone says, or maybe we've said, the next shoe is going to drop. Something bad has happened, so I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop. I mean, that is expectancy, isn't it? So as we begin to focus on love and the goodness within and how wonderful we really are, we can shift this law of expectancy, because this is like all of our thoughts move some energy in the field, in some field, in this infinite something. Now, how's that for being really technical? Our thoughts move something in this something, but it does. And what do we expect of life? Dr. John Wheeler at Princeton sees the involvement of the observer as the most important feature of quantum theory, which is at the core of the way this life experience works. But he has therefore suggested replacing the word observer with the word participate. Gosh, we participate in our life experience at a quantum level. So I am in prayer daily for some individual who just really expects the worst in their life, and they tried a really difficult and narrow path as a younger person and it didn't work out. So now they expect life to dish out failure for them. And my prayer for them, which is every day, just seeing them as the light and love of God. I don't put out an expectancy, a demand, a knowing that they're going to be anything or not going to be anything. My prayer for that individual is the light of God. I see the light of God fill them, the love of God fill them. And I know that the God in them brings the very best into their life. I don't know what that should be, but I know it is there. That is my expectancy for them. That's how I pray. That's how I don't see what needs to be fixed. And I think that we need to get away from what needs to be fixed. So I'm going to tell you guys a personal story. I just realized the story this morning. It just hit me. So I often write out my intentions, like my car purchase, which I think I've told you about. And sometimes I just, I write them out in a nice little detail in a notebook. Sometimes I just on a sticky note to the universe. I write a lot of sticky notes to the universe, and I'll put them on my computer. And so we have this house, as anybody who's listened to me very long will hear me repeat over and over again, but our family's been renovating this house. Actually, we pretty much built the house, everything but the frame, and we've been working on this a long time. And so we're almost done. We've hired some, of course, but we've really done a lot of it ourselves. And so this has been a process. And so I fixing it up to rent it. And it's a lovely house and a beautiful place. And I wouldn't mind living there myself, but we're not going to. We're going to rent it. And I need to rent it, of course. And so I had wrote on my computer, on my sticky note to the universe, that I wanted this rented by the end of October. Well, it's the end of October. It's the 1st of November as you're listening to this. And it's pretty much finished, but there's still some little painting of trim and cleaning and a little tile work that's not done. So I looked at my sticky note and I thought, well, that didn't work, which I might say we should, in our treatments, in our vision, it's about what, not how and when. But, I was really outlining that. And I don't know when I set intentions, but anyway, I did. And so our house, which is another story, had a tree fall on it about a month ago, and it's taken a long time for the insurance and the repair people to get in line. But we have to move out of our house while they repair it, and all the bedrooms will be torn up and everything. And we have to move out probably next week. So the insurance company said we could rent our own house And because of COVID, that seemed like a better idea than moving to a hotel. And it had never occurred to me. I thought we would have to move to a hotel, but they said, no, rent your own house and we'll pay the rent. So it was like, it just seemed, I just thought about that this morning. So looking at my sticky note on my computer, well, the house is rented as of the 1st of November. However, it is in a way that I never would have thought of it. So we get to live there and work all the time because we're living there and we can work on it all the time rather than just part of the time. So it just seems so funny. The universe is so amazing and interesting. So the law of attraction, yeah, the third part of this co-creation. Yeah, I'm still twirling in my brain about this renting of this house. So what an amazing way this all works. But the law of attraction, which I always think is kind of a subpart of the law of belief, and the law of expectancy is this law of attraction that immediately and automatically comes into our life based on our beliefs and our expectancy. So it's more a result of our beliefs. But I just want to say one thing about this. You know, we are energy beings. The whole universe is made up of energy. Our brain is energy. Our neurons are function in an energy way. Everything is energy at some level. And we are participants in this. There's like this big energy field. There's lots of energy fields from gravity to electricity, but there's something under that, this quantum energy field, and we're all part of it. And so this law of attraction, it's like our energy field will attract to us that is like our energy field. And when I was thinking about this, I remembered a book I had in my library I haven't read for a long time. I have to grab it here. Thought as energy. And it has little chapters by different people. And so this one by Cleve Baxter is an interview with him. And he was someone who worked in the 60s at a university in California. Anyway, he did experiments on, he was really big into understanding the polygraph. And so many of you remember these experiments, but he just decided to work with plants. And he hooked this polygraph up to plants. And plants, of course, living plants put off energy fields. And I'm going to tell you just about this one little experiment he did. I hate the experiment, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So he said, we chose half a dozen students, one of whom was to destroy a plant in a room with another plant as witness, attached to polygraph electrodes. After the plant was destroyed, each student went again into the room. And when the plant killer approached, the witnessing plant became frantic with apprehension. What caused this reaction? And he goes on to discuss that. But it's so interesting. It's like the plant recognized this individual that had killed this other plant. It's a longer interview, and obviously we don't have time today to go deeply into that. First of all, it really made me feel awful because I thought of how many plants I might have killed intentionally or not intentionally. It freaks me out still. But I thought about, I have a daughter who's got like an amazing green thumb, and it talks about people with green thumb and their energy relationship to plants. And she can plant something, or something can be planted in her yard, and it suddenly becomes it becomes a jungle in no time at all that you have to thin out. But and some other people, it's just you can't get a plant to grow no matter what. So it's really interesting about our energy fields, even with plants and even with other animals and with each other. You know, our heart has a huge electromagnetic field that goes out beyond our body, and it can be picked up by other people as well as every cell in our body. So And it responds, this electrical magnetic field in our heart responds to our thoughts and how we feel. And I know, all of us have experienced trauma that maybe we created or we didn't create, but we can feel it deeply in our hearts. So this is just fascinating, you guys. It is so fascinating how we are participants in the creation of our own life. We're co-creators in our own life, and we participate at the level of our consciousness. And so our work is to heal whatever it is to be healed within us, so that our consciousness begins to be reflected in a life that is filled with joy. The outcome is joy. And I think the way to that joy is to begin today to focus on that co-creative energy, that God presence, that infinite presence, and the divine love within ourselves. And that might take work. Might have to, that practice we heard years ago of someone standing in front of the mirror saying, I love myself, I love my body, I love myself just the way I am, I love myself. And maybe that's what we have to do, I don't know. But this is our work, to come to love ourselves, to come to forgive ourselves. And I would invite us this week to practice mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? Simply paying attention to what we think, paying attention to how we feel, paying attention to everything around us. And for God's sakes, you guys, don't kill a plant this week. So, all right, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And let's come together. Let's just come together for a moment. Just take a deep breath. And come together for a moment in the realization that we are one with this, oh my gosh, this infinite presence, this power and presence in the universe that birthed everything. We are part of a magnificent field underneath with a loving energy and love in a way that is almost beyond, well, it is beyond our understanding. But we can know it. And as we focus on it, it begins to fill our body more and more with a high vibration of this divine love. And this in and of itself heals ourselves, heals our lives. So we focus on that love and that life and that power that exists within each one of us, as us, not just in us, but as us. Knowing that truly, at a deep level, all is well, and all is well. And I give thanks for this knowing. I give thanks for the recognition of the power that you and I have to co-create a magnificent life, to be instrumental in the life of this planet. So thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Julie. What a wonderful talk. Thank you so much. Inspirational, and bringing us to our next piece of music, the one that, as we love ourselves, reminds us of what we are born to be.
I look at my life here at the crossroads, my which way to go familiar would be comfortably safe. But I've been yearning, had it a long time, don't want to stay the same. There lies a new road and it's calling my name. What if I stumble when the road gets really rough? What if I lose my way and fall, 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 fall? What if I find myself and truly reach happiness? No, I will not stand here frozen one more day. Look at me running through this life-filled wilderness. Look at me sailing over all those hills. Look at me dancing with the me I truly love. I'm singing out with a voice of a resonance. I'm in this moment and I love to take the chance. I'm in my power, it's the way I'm born to be. I look at my life here at the crossroads, my which way to go familiar would be comfortably safe. But I'd be yearning, had it a long time, don't want to stay the same. There lies a new road, and it's calling my name. What if I stumble when the road gets really rough? What if I lose my way and fall, 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 fall? What if I find myself and truly reach happiness? No, I will not stand here frozen one more day. Look at me running through this life-filled wilderness. Look at me sailing over all those hills. Look at me dancing with the one I truly love. I'm singing out with a voice of a resonance. I'm in this moment and I love to take the chance. I'm in my power, it's the way I'm born to be. What if I stumble when the road gets really rough? What if I lose my way and fall, 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 fall? What if I find myself and truly reach happiness? No, I will not stand here frozen one more day. Look at me running through this life-filled wilderness. Look at me sailing over all those hills. Look at me dancing with the me I truly love. I'm singing out with a voice of a resonance. I'm in this moment and I love to take the chance. I'm in my power, it's the way I'm born to be. I'm in my power, it's the way I'm born to be. It's the way I'm born to be.
Isn't that great? I challenge you to get that tune out of your mind this week. I've had the hardest time. So this is the part of our celebration where we have an opportunity to express our gratitude, to return the gifts that have been so freely given in our lives. And if we were together in person, we would obviously pass the basket. And we request that you remember the Unity Center as you're writing your checks. And you can always go online. You can donate at the donate button on www.worldhealing.org. We know you love and value and support the center, and we appreciate every single gift. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Together, we bless the gifts that we give, and we say, as we hold these gifts in our heart, in our consciousness, God's love in me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. So we have a couple of announcements that are great. Exciting things coming up. Despite the fact that we live in this digital world, some really wonderful things are happening. So first of all, as Julie mentioned, Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters is going to be the subject of a class, a study group given by our licensed Unity teacher, who is also a wonderful teacher, Sandra Combs. And we mentioned it last week. We have dates for it to begin November 15th through December 13th. It's going to be after the service. In other words, the service ends at 11:30. Some of us gathered to chat. The classes will start at 12:30 to 2:30, basically. What we need is, if you are interested in, even if you've already expressed a general interest, if you're going to take the class, I'm going to give you Sandra Combs' email, and it's lowercase Sandra underscore Combs, Combs, Sandra underscore Combs at msn.com. Now, you can also get that by contacting Marilee. You can contact Sharon, but we need to get your name actually on the list. The class is given with a love offering basis, so we hope you'll participate. Some people are getting the book already. The second thing is, one of the things that characterizes the Unity Center and has for all of its years is Toy Day. And Toy Day obviously needs to be reconfigured a little bit, and it will be, if we hold it, it will be absolutely according to COVID safety standards. But we're inviting you to a gathering next Sunday after the service. If you want to be a participant in any way in possibility of Toy Day, we're contacting the schools to see if this is something that will work with them. And so next Sunday, plan to stop. And if you can't be at church on Sunday, be sure and let Marilee know, or you could contact Nancy Lilly as well, or Sharon. But this gathering will be after the service for about an hour. If you want to give gifts, if you want to wrap presents, if you want to be part of it in any way. So that's the Toy Day team meeting for all participants. And we will need at least 12 people, and of course more than that, who want to shop. So those are the announcements, except for to remind you that wonderful Reverend Julie is available by telephone for spiritual support this time and any time. We thank you again, Julie, for that inspirational message. We encourage everybody to take her suggestions to heart, to be part of co-creating miracles. And let's keep moving in the direction of what we were born to be, right? And we encourage everybody to share our Sunday messages live on YouTube. And next Sunday, Reverend Christine Green will be speaking, and her topic is Open Your Heart to Love, which seems to be a natural follow through, doesn't it? Please stay after the Sunday service for conversation and for fellowship and discussion. And now we come to the end of our service, and always in the end of our service, we have a candle that's been going through the whole service. So naturally, we would blow the candle out, right? So at this moment, in our minds, we blow the candle out, but we know the light never goes out. Why? Because we are the light. And together, let's say the prayer of transformation together. The light of God is in us. The love of God moves through us. The power of God transforms us. The presence of God is who we are. Wherever we go, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being here, for your support and participation. You are a very important part of the Unity Center, whether you're physically here or not. Let's reach out this week in love and the spirit of unity and have a beautiful, safe, and healing week.